Hello everyone, welcome to the U.S. Immigration News. In June 2025, the U.S. immigration system is once again in the spotlight, with new policies from the Trump administration shaking up the way green cards, family-based immigration, and USCIS procedures work. From sweeping executive orders to changing USCIS processing rules, families across the country are feeling the impact. Whether you're waiting on a green card, sponsoring a relative, or trying to understand what's happening under President Trump's latest immigration decisions, there's a lot you need to know right now. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. Number 1. A new travel ban is set to begin June 9th. One of the most talked about developments this month is a brand new travel ban issued by the Trump administration. Beginning June 9th, the United States will no longer allow entry for nationals from 12 specific countries unless they qualify under narrow exceptions. The countries affected include Afghanistan, Haiti, Libya, Myanmar, Somalia, Sudan, Iran, Yemen, Chad, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, and the Republic of the Congo. This ban applies to both immigrant and non-immigrant visa categories, which means students, family members, and workers from these countries could be turned away, regardless of how long they've been waiting or how prepared their paperwork is. The administration says this decision is about national security and improving vetting standards. But critics, including immigration attorneys and civil rights advocates, argue that it's yet another policy that unfairly targets vulnerable populations and isolates the U.S. from global talent. Number 2. Supreme Court clears the way to end TPS for 4 countries. In another major shift, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that the administration can move forward with ending Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, for nationals from Venezuela, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Cuba. This ruling affects over 500,000 people who have legally lived and worked in the United States for years under TPS designations. For many, this has been home for a decade or more. They've paid taxes, raised families, and contributed to their communities. But under the new ruling, they may soon be forced to leave unless they can adjust to another status. The Department of Homeland Security also announced it will officially end TPS for Nepal and Cameroon in the coming weeks. For Nepal, the designation ends on August 5, 2025. Officials say the conditions that originally justified the protections no longer exist. However, human rights organizations argue that conditions remain unstable and unsafe, especially for individuals who've built their lives in the U.S. Number 3. Crackdown on visa overstays and immigration fraud intensifies. In the wake of a recent domestic security incident, immigration authorities have been directed to intensify their crackdown on visa overstays. USCIS, ICE, and CBP have all been instructed to aggressively audit immigration records. Individuals whose visas have expired or whose legal status is unclear may now face greater scrutiny during routine checks. If you're currently in the U.S. on a visa, it's more important than ever to make sure your documents are in order. Delays or gaps in status could now trigger enforcement actions that were previously unlikely. Meanwhile, federal prosecutors are ramping up efforts to prosecute immigration-related fraud. In recent weeks, several individuals have been charged in high-profile cases. In Boston, a Colombian national was arrested for voter fraud and identity theft. In West Virginia, an Indian national admitted to participating in a fraudulent marriage scheme. And in New York, another Indian national was convicted of staging fake armed robberies as part of a visa scam. Immigration fraud investigations are becoming more frequent and penalties are severe. Even long-past infractions are now being revisited under the new enforcement priorities. Number 4. Changes to the SAVE system will affect public benefits verification. USCIS has introduced a major update to the SAVE system, short for Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements. This program allows state and federal agencies to verify a person's immigration status before approving benefits like Medicaid, housing assistance, or driver's licenses. The new system promises more centralized, accurate, and faster status verification. For immigrants applying for benefits or services, that means smoother access if your documents are in order, but also stricter rejections if there's any mismatch or delay in the system. It's a good idea to double-check that your status is up to date with USCIS before applying for any government benefit. Number 5. Visa Bulletin Updates and Filing Window Changes. If you're waiting for a green card under family or employment categories, pay close attention to the monthly Visa Bulletin. In June 2025, several key priority dates moved forward, especially in the EB3 and F2A categories. But some retrogressions also occurred, particularly for high-demand countries. Make sure to check both the Dates for Filing chart and the Final Action Dates chart to see if you're eligible to submit your application. A single change in the Visa Bulletin could open or close a filing opportunity, so stay alert every month and be ready to act quickly when your priority date becomes current. Number 6. Self-Deportation Program. Begins first round of flights. The administration has quietly launched its new voluntary self-deportation initiative. The first government-chartered flight left the U.S. earlier this month with 64 undocumented immigrants who opted into the program. Each participant received free airfare and a $1,000 incentive to voluntarily depart the U.S. Officials say the goal is to reduce the detention backlog and encourage voluntary compliance with removal orders. But immigration advocates have raised concerns about how the program is being presented. Some fear that individuals may feel pressured to leave without fully understanding their legal rights or other options for relief. If you or someone you know is facing removal, speak with a qualified immigration attorney before agreeing to voluntary departure. Number 7. Legal battles over birthright citizenship and parole programs continue. Two major immigration programs are currently under legal review. First, the administration's proposal to end birthright citizenship for children born in the U.S. to undocumented parents is being challenged in federal court. Legal experts widely believe this proposal contradicts the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Second, the CHNV parole program, which provides temporary legal entry to individuals from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, is also under review. This program allowed thousands of people to enter the U.S. on humanitarian grounds. If it's overturned, many families will be left in limbo. These cases are expected to reach the Supreme Court by the end of the year, and the outcomes could dramatically reshape immigration policy going forward. What should you do now? If your country is on the new travel ban list, check your visa status, reconsider upcoming travel plans, and talk to a legal expert about your options. If you or your family are on TPS, pay attention to expiration timelines and monitor whether any extensions or court blocks are issued. If you're in the U.S. on a temporary visa, make sure your status is fully current. Avoid overstaying even by a day, especially under the new enforcement orders. And if you're applying for benefits, green cards, or work permits, double-check your supporting documents. A small mistake can now lead to bigger delays or denials. One final note before we go. Immigration in the United States is changing rapidly, but even with these challenges, people continue to move forward. Filing applications, reuniting with family, launching careers, and building lives. The best thing you can do is stay informed, stay prepared, and stay proactive. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.